Oh my God, hi. It's been a minute. How have y'all been? How are you doing? How's your mom? Welcome to the Just Gaming Tingz Podcast. Did you know we have a podcast?
We do.
And there's 6 of us here today to talk about all the gaming tings. I am one of your hosts, Spin Bland, and I am here today joined by Dex,
Hey, hello.
Jam,
Hi, friends.
Koga,
Hello. Wait, the camera's over here now. Hello.
Ruby.
Oh, hi.
Oh my God. And Ruin.
Hello!
Coming at you from space.
I'm out from space. I'm out to get y'all. I'm coming. Slowly
here,
or
honey.
surely, light years coming.
If I was in space, I'd be avoiding Earth.
You right.
Going this way.
Go the other way or go past us.
You still have time.
Exit stage.
Take a turn. Take a turn.
Just float on out there. A new life.
Just floating.
Just floating. Just floating tings.
Yeah.
Floating.
Welcome to our backdoor pilot for our new podcast, Just Floating Tings. We're floating in space.
Yeah.
Just floating tings, floating in
Just
space.
floating tings.
We love it.
We review pools.
Ooh.
Honestly,
I-
you know,
I love that.
I'm
Actually.
down.
sounds like a
And,
great career move.
Yeah,
I
and
review all the
pool toys.
pools and all the like shitty motels in Florida.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, not that being
I
your first
absolutely-
go-to.
Of course, that's my first go-to. What else do you expect from me?
I was immediately thinking luxury, but you can like put that towards your like taxes because it's like technically work, and you're like, oh, you know, that was a work expense, and Spain's like just the shittiest fucking place ever you could think of.
What is Florida?
And it's me.
Oh, Spin said trash.
Just like I thought. Trash.
Trash.
Well, speaking of trash, we did think we would talk about NFTs because, you know, that conversation has been spinning around the art world, if you will, and it hasn't really hit the gaming industry until it did and is still doing. And there were a few situations where like companies are trying to get into it. Some of them are kind of backing off after seeing fans' reactions. And it actually kind of all took place towards the end of last year. And then we ended up being overwhelmed by like end of the year discussions and the Game Awards and all that stuff. So we ended up not really getting exactly to it. But we did think it would be a good idea for us to get into the topic of NFTs, not into NFTs themselves, but into the topic.
There's no
because-
Just Gaming Tingz NFTs.
No, not that. And there are no plans to do so. Listen, you know that meme where people are like,
NFTs?
"Ooh, that is a tempting title, but we shan't." You know that thing where people are like, tweet something that like when you know you've been like abducted or something, or like you're in danger. That's whenever Just Gaming Tingz tweets that we're getting into NFTs, you know we've been hacked, we know we're in danger, and you need to send help our way. But
Truly.
yeah, like we're all on the same page here, so it's going to be a little bit of an echo chamber, if you will. But we kind of I think it's good for us to kind of get into like why we're like where we stand on it and why, so that moving forward in other conversations that we may have throughout the year about companies and games and stuff like that, and we may take sides depending on our personal views of things, then people will know where we stand, and we can always refer back to this episode rather than bringing it up every week. There's a new studio hopping on the bandwagon. So yeah, who wants to kind of open the floor to our conversation here and get us started with what's the NFT, sis? Very proud of that title. Um,
You should be. You should
It
be.
did have to go
can-
to a vote. We all had to vote on it.
we we did. We all
Dex
had to
outvoted.
outvote Dex.
Koga was the deciding factor. Koga was the deciding factor.
Truly.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of bring this up because I did see that the kind of catalyst for this was that Sega is the latest in a long line of companies. It seems like every other day, a new company's getting into NFTs, and now it's Sega, who has trademarked Sega NFTs, and it's just like I saw that and I was just like, ugh. Another
Wow.
one, like it's cursed DJ Khaled, another one, you know.
No.
But like it seems like every other week, and I'll try to keep my thoughts brief because I'll probably have like more thoughts on the conversation later down the line when all y'all have chimed in. But like I guess we should start by like kind of talking about like what NFTs are, because I feel like a lot of people don't like know that they're bad but don't know why they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I can kind of share my perspective. I'm not like an expert or anything, but to my understanding, basically it's like there is a thing like an art or a video or like something. Usually they're terrible pictures of monkeys, and you buy that art, but you're not just buying the art. You're buying like a like digital receipt that says you own the art. And in order to make that digital receipt, they use an amount of power that surpasses like what a small country would use in a year. And they basically like set the rainforest on fire to give you this receipt for a thing. And like that doesn't even necessarily guarantee that you didn't even buy the thing. You bought the thing that says you own the thing, but like people can still like right click and save it, and that's like a popular meme too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's like people who right click and save like everybody's NFTs.
Yeah.
And I think like okay, the reasons that people are like getting into this is because it's kind of sold as like a get rich quick scheme. Like you buy your NFT and it increases in value and then you sell it later and you make a bunch of money. But the thing that happens is people keep like pumping these out and like more and more people are getting into it. And then they realize that their like horrible looking monkey that they bought is worthless and just losing all their money. So
Should have known in the first place.
Right. I've seen like people comparing it to MLMs. It's like the MLMs for like crypto bros.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just like every day you see like a new company or a new person or something just being like, oh, we're getting into NFTs now, and it's like great.
Right.
But yeah, bad for the environment. No like reputable artist wants to do NFTs, and that's why they all look like shit.
Yeah.
That's basically like my perspective on it.
Yeah, and it also something that also brings into the whole like scam thing is also the cryptocurrencies, which are also a lot very tied into this as well, because they're often bought and sold through cryptocurrencies, which if you've been wondering why there aren't many PS5s out, if you're wondering why it's super hard to get like graphics cards and stuff like that, this is all directly correlated to that. Like these people that are making these currencies and like by association then the NFTs and stuff like that, they're using amounts of power and resources that are like, for the lack of a better term, mind-blowing. Like they're using like, and I've read a little bit about it. Again, neither of us are experts, so yeah. Do your own research.
We're just a bunch of clowns.
Yeah, right. But I did read into it, like there are situations where towns have lost like power because of how many resources have been taken away from them in general, and just like situations where the, like Spin mentioned, like the environment itself, like literally like actual physical repercussions on the environment and stuff like that. And obviously it's also impacting the industry, like all the industries really, but the gaming industry in the sense of like now people I think Square Enix was also one of the first ones to announce like in-game NFT items that like basically are like DLC for only one specific person that one person would pay for. And it also brings how unreasonable and unsustainable that is on top. Like imagine, you know, you're a game dev and you're creating like costumes for these characters, and all of a sudden you have to create like 1,000 extra costumes, and it's like for literally like one person each. And it's like the amount of also work that person is going through, the amount of resources put into the creation of those, and then of course putting them in the market for NFT selling and all that stuff. It's bad. It's really bad. And yeah, I like Spin said, like I feel like I also will have more thoughts on it after we're kind of done kind of introducing little aspects of it, and what kind of stands out to each of us as like to why we think a certain way about this. But yeah, it's also starting to impact the voice acting scene. We saw like a big prominent figure recently, Troy Baker, promoting NFTs, specifically an NFT service called Voiceverse NFT, which apparently I didn't look too much into it, but apparently they promised to like basically Troy, for example, would record like his voice like as an item that people can purchase and then use for like their own games, their own whatever. And it's supposed to be kind of a service like that where there's kind of this like AI situation using people's voices and then using them for like work and for whatever purposes they want them to use those things for. And I guess the only thing that I wanted to bring up like right now at the intro, because it was something that's been kind of mentioned about art, is that a lot of these NFT situations are also stolen. So it's people commissioning artists and then, or not even commissioning artists, like literally just seeing a piece of art on the internet and just like selling it and being like, oh, this is yours now. And it's like the artist didn't approve of it, the person commissioning it didn't approve of it, and it's like a whole fucking mess. But yeah.
It's not the artists who are making these things who are like making the money. It's the middleman, basically.
Right. And now voice actors are starting to do the same, where like they're starting to have to put into their contracts that they don't approve of the use of their voices for NFT purposes. Same with artists, and I'm sure it's going to impact other things in the future. But yeah, more on that later. What do y'all think?
Can you purchase NFTs with with just normal money? Because I think I've been to a website before and it was like 0.077 NFEE, and I was like, what is that currency? I've never heard it before. Like, that's kind of mind-blowing to me. Like, how do you even get that? Like, I don't really understand the whole like NFT thing. Like, I saw someone on their Instagram story like post like, oh, I just bought my first NFT, one of many, and it was the ugliest piece of art I had ever seen in my life. Like, I'm sorry, it was not very cute, it was not very pretty. Sorry to that artist, but I don't know you. And I guess, like, I don't know, it's just kind of like one of those things where it's just like, ooh, this thing is happening. So I kind of tread lightly around it. So I'm learning a lot from you all. But can you purchase it with regular money?
So
Like a credit card?
So yes and no. I guess the way that it works is that the currency that technically right now is utilized to purchase NFTs is called Ethereum. It's one of the other cryptocurrencies. So NFTs themselves are like just a way of like selling this currency to people, and so you buy it through that. But you can buy that currency with a card, right? So you like, if you make a purchase, they just convert it into Ethereum, and then that's what you paid for it with. Usually you have to buy it directly with Ethereum, so it's usually people who are already into cryptocurrency who have that I say Bitcoin because that's the main one, right? But that's the one that people use for NFTs. And I think it's the only one technically you can use for NFTs, which is like the other reason NFTs are so problematic is because Ethereum is like one of the worst for like environmental impacts and stuff. It's very weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially the equivalent of like buying like V-Bucks or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except it's like to a huge scale where like and people buy them as well with almost like a sense of like it's almost like it's stocks. Like I remember Dogecoin was a thing at one point and people were like, "Oh, get into the Dogecoin market." I just like paid off my like student loans or whatever because it was like so it there's also that aspect to it where there's also like it kind of also fluctuates even though it's supposed to be like their own thing and the initial thing about cryptocurrencies was like they wanted to distinguish themselves from like normal quote unquote currencies, right? And they wanted to be their own market and whatever, but then they replicate the real market. So it's like you're basically just say that you want to control it. Just say that you want to be the one in charge of it rather than someone else or governments or whomever. But it's essentially like a very similar thing like that where you could very well get scammed basically very easily.
Like you just did
I'm
capitalism
also-
again, but worse.
Right.
Yeah, like this is like worse capitalism. But I'm also surprised because fellow podcaster Lotus just also told us that people at NYC are freezing because of inflated price of energy. And it's just like I didn't even know that this has like an environmental like literal environmental impact. Like that's also extremely out of this world to me that is happening and that it's being allowed to happen. Like that's I don't like it.
Yeah, like it's
Nope.
when people say that NFTs like are affecting the environment, they don't just mean in like the climate change, like the ice caps are melting 50 years from
That
now
too.
way, which is also bad.
Yeah.
Which is also bad. Let me just say, climate change is real, but it's also very much in the here and now affecting people's lives.
Yeah, because of how
That's
much
so-
resources they're taking up, basically the market for how much like electricity would be is like higher in certain places where there's a higher demand, if you will, or a higher usage of it. So then there's towns where there's like people are fully like on with outages because they can't afford to pay for electricity or because all the resources are being put to a specific place where there's more NFT activity. And it's messy. It's really, really, really bad. Really, really, really bad.
Yeah, I feel like this could definitely mess up renewable energy where renewable at least in at least in the United States I see it becoming a big issue because I feel like it would finally get approved and then all of that power instead of actually doing something good with it and helping the country we would use it for something selfish like this and and then what?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. This is wild.
And then it even I feel
Wow.
like in a different scale it even ties in with like the metaverse and stuff like that because we're heading into a direction where people are so focused on owning things digitally and digital currencies and stuff like that, and they're fully like disregarding the fact that all of these things do have like real life consequences. And it's almost like obviously certain people in the world are trying to like, let's just focus on that instead. Let's just, digital, fun, VR headsets and all that stuff. And it's just like, that's dangerous. Like if we keep heading into that direction, like we're basically just gonna speed up the processes that I feel like a lot of people are trying to slow down as far as like the environmental issues and stuff like that. And it's just like, then all these people all of a sudden were like, what if we sped it up?
If we did that, but more and faster.
Yeah, it's a whole weird process. Go ahead, Koga. Sorry.
But I'm curious, like the people who do they make like a lot of money off of this enough to where it's just to them that it's worth doing all this? and getting as much flack as they do. Like
Mhm.
I'm
Some
like,
people are definitely making money.
Yeah.
but it's
Not
probably
necessarily the people that think they're going to be making money, but some people definitely are.
yeah. I mean, probably a bunch of people who just see some people making money. It's like I can make money too, because I've seen some people do that. And think like, okay, so this is happening for them. This could happen for me. Because I mean, I don't know. Like I can't say I'm surprised about some people trying to do things to make money, and yet it's gonna mess things up for other people and the environment, and they're not gonna care. Because I mean, first of all, a lot of people don't care about this planet, period. So they're definitely not gonna care about it after they're gone. So it's just okay. Let me get this as much as I can, and then I'm out of here, literally. And then whatever, I guess whatever makes their life easier. But I think it is a shame that people are okay to the point where it's like, using up so much power that, now we have it to where people aren't able to pay for the electricity in, New York in the winter. I'm not sure what it's like over there. I'm in the Midwest, so it's very strange where I'm at. Like it was like 50 something degrees earlier this week, but it's snowing today. But I mean, companies like, and the thing is with Sega, I'm confused a little bit because I know they said that they weren't going to do it if enough people like did. And then so I saw the article that came up yesterday for this logo, but that logo was the registered trademark was registered I think like back in December before they said all that. So I'm not sure if it's like Sega's like they went back on it, but they're keeping it because just in case. Is it deregistering it too much? I have no idea, but I mean, who knows at this point? And that's where coming into gaming, I can't say I'd be surprised, depending on what it does and how much the gaming community as a whole actually cares about it. And because however way they do it, if it's enough to where they don't care, then can't say I'm surprised it's happening. I mean, that's how we got a lot of these crappy practices.
I'm going to call it the Logan Paul effect. Because I'm sorry to bring this man up. I know no one likes him, but I mean, look what he did to the Pokemon card industry. Like, he started buying Pokemon cards and he literally destroyed the industry. Like, to the point where Target to this day still has to limit people on how many packs of cards that they can buy. That people at those stores that sold Pokemon cards or NFL, NBA cards, like they quit because the way they were getting treated by some people who are trying to get rich. And Logan Paul and Jake Paul and many other influencers have been at the spear tip of it all, and they've also created cryptocurrency scams, basically. Like it's just like bread inside of there. And I will say Logan Paul recently did get his just desserts buying 3.5 million worth of fake Pokemon cards. And I learned to love the story this morning too, because he bought them from a local shop like in my area, and I was just like, go on with your bad self. Like, I was like, go ahead, sell those fake Pokemon cards. But I think it's just one of those things, and maybe we don't have to call it the Logan Paul effect. I would say maybe like an influencer effect, because like it's these influencers who are like, oh well, like people want to be like me, people like want to live in the hype house, people want to have nice cars and have all these nice clothes. If you do this, you'll get rich fast, and you'll be in the same place that I am, and you could do those things. So I think it's like an influencer effect that is happening, and that's what is causing these things to do it. Like, and I would say the same, though I have not seen as much NFTs, NFT like influence, like all of that stuff. Like, I still have seen it, and I'm just like, whew. But I think that's one of the main reasons and causes behind all of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and we don't have to get too much into it because it's not gaming related, but it is. I think it is coming. Like, I've already seen. I mean, from the K-pop side of things, we've already seen companies getting into the NFT industry as well. So there's probably going to be things like that. We're going to take like prominent figures that people already like, and there's already. I mean, honestly, with the K-pop thing, also relating that into the environment and how like, you know, not good for it is with like physical albums and photo cards and all the stuff that we love, but ultimately people who overbuy them in order to get into the fan calls, in order to get all these things and raffles and all of those things, then it ends up being a lot of waste, and it ends up being really bad for the environment. And so I can see that also tying into the NFT situations, where I can definitely see, who knows, like we haven't really seen much from the music industry, but I can see that also becoming a thing potentially if, you know, certain record companies will find it a profitable and easy way to make money, right?
I've seen at least a few. But I mean, I don't know. At this point, like I said, I muted NFTs on my Twitter, so I don't see anything because I'm like, you know what?
I'm so jealous.
Protecting
Maybe I
your
should too.
peace. Protecting your peace.
You gotta protect. Yeah, pretty much. Self-care, very
I
important.
need to do
Right.
that. I
But
keep forgetting. I need to do that.
I'm pretty sure like it's some of them who will go with that, and it's like to me it just seems like there's a lot of them that want to, but just don't want to be like, you know, have everyone mad at them and then like come at them and everything like that. But some may not care. Like I know like Troy Baker did. There was another voice actor, Chuck Huber. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He voiced like Hiei in Yu Yu Hakusho, and he does it too. And it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just to me, it just feels like there's a lot of companies that actually want to, but they're more concerned about how people are reacting and probably going to ease their way in as much as possible and see what happens. Potentially, but maybe this won't. But I mean, it's companies, they have a way to, especially in the gaming industry, they have a way of just trying to like ease things in, and then it eventually catch them, especially when the next generation comes in and they're not, you know, aware of how things were before, and then it's to them it's normal, and to us it's like no. Like for us, like how we always talk about like microtransactions and how that's the thing. Like the younger generation, to them that's they weren't around like when we were before that was the thing. When we would get up just a game and that
Just
was
buy a
probably
game.
it,
Right.
Yeah.
and deal with. Well, depending on what year that was, because sometimes NES games were kind of BS. But like now, it's like it's just a norm, and it's more if that's a norm. It's like, unfortunately, it's just kind of like, yeah, that's just where we're at, and they're gonna do it because they're gonna make money off of it. Like people have been complaining about that for a while, but like I said, like of gacha games, they make so much money. So if NFTs and that becomes a thing, and they slide their way in there, it could potentially. I mean, I don't want to see it, but it's like, unfortunately, I don't know. Maybe I feel like I'm getting old, but I feel like I've been around long enough to know it's like if they try long enough, the younger and the people now don't educate, you know, the younger and let them know, it's gonna slip past at some point.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
If
but
they don't destroy the
that's
planet
also why I
entirely
think
first.
the gaming crowd is more vocal about it, because NFTs aren't new, right? But I think the reason why, well, they are newish, but you know what I mean. But I think the reason why there's such a backlash from the gaming community is because I feel like as a community we've been burned before, right? First with the microtransactions, and then the DLCs and the season passes and the loot boxes, and we're just now getting off of the conversation where, you know, companies are kind of being forced into, in certain regions even, to, you know, have their loot boxes be more transparent or not to exist at all, or even like situations like that. So that's why I think like the gaming audience, if you will, are more against it or more vocal and loud about it, because we've all seen it before and we don't see this as like a good direction that gaming should be going towards. I mean, especially if we think about like how often games get delayed, especially now, you know, because of the pandemic, but how often games get delayed and how long it takes for games to be made. Then it's like that would even delay them even more if they have to create, you know, thousands of assets because, you know, 1,000 people decided to buy individually a jacket each, or whatever they end up trying to sell to you or what have you. So it is worrying, because I do think that some companies, like Koga said, like probably will just, you know, announce the thing, let the backlash happen, and then simmer down, and then just continue doing it. Like, that was an interesting thing about Troy Baker's situation. Not to consistently bring this man up and drag him, but he apologized for it. It was all fine and dandy, but there was never a confirmation of whether or not he was going to still work with them. So, you know,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, his apology was more so for him saying the what was it? Hate or create. And it just came off as pretty antagonistic, I guess. And that was mostly what he was apologizing for, not him actually doing NFTs. It was just it may have came off a little bit extra, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like really too sorry about what he's doing, which I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, not much you can, not much of mine. I feel I can really do is just sit like not indulge in it.
Yeah.
So I mean, they keep saying like how it's gonna do this, how it's gonna positively do this, and I'm like, I'm not saying it.
It's just such an interesting. It's just such an interesting move. Like the idea that, and I think the thing to me that's so interesting is that like this was created in a way to basically say, oh, we'll make unique things that people will own, and then that will make this worth it. But it's just like, because they were like, Bitcoin's not good enough. You need something that you can say you own, but you're not even giving me the thing. You give me the receipt for the thing.
And that's
You
how
give me a
Bitcoin works too,
receipt.
I think. Like, you just get a little email that says, like, here's how much money you have allegedly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but with Bitcoin, that makes like that's kind of the same thing you have with having like a bank account, right? Like you
Sure.
really just have a receipt that your money exists in the bank, even though technically the bank, at least in the US, goes and puts all your money in the stock market and tries to make money off of it and lends it out to people. Because that's what banks are allowed to do in the US, right? So it's similar in that way, but they literally like, we're going to give you a unique thing, and that unique thing still sits over here in a vault. It was like if you bought the Mona Lisa and they kept it in a vault and said, here's a piece of paper that says you own it. You can come look at it.
Right.
You own it.
So can other people though, like.
But other people can also get this receipt too, and they can come look at it, and they can also own it. What?
Can also right click it and it's mine.
Right.
Yeah, right, ma'am. Please.
They can just take a picture of it,
Right.
hang it up on their wall.
I have this many Bitcoin. Are you proud of me? Oh!
Oh my god.
Well.
I definitely want to, Dex. I want to hear from you.
Yes.
Wow. As everyone knows, I'm very like active in like the art community as well, or like I've like seen a lot, and it's been pretty rough, especially from the aspect of it because NFT is like surrounded with art. And it sucked because like there's so many artists that not necessarily I looked up to, but I really liked. And they would just like turn to NFTs either for out of sheer ignorance of like what they are or because they just want money. And like it's like the greed factor of it was really taking over a lot of people I saw because like I remember there was this one artist I've commissioned before last year when it started dying down before it like blew up again. Like it was like months after they first came out, and like I never heard anything of it since, so it was probably in the lull was when like an artist I really like just suddenly was like, I'm doing NFTs, and then I was like, oh no, not this. But then I was like, oh, maybe they're ignorant, maybe they were like slow to see what it was about. And then the next thing I knew, they were blocking people that were telling them that it was bad. Like they weren't saying anything hateful, it was constructive criticism, they're like informing them. He would just block all of them. So I was just like, oh, this is like terrible. And it's getting to people really easily. But like, especially recently, I have been very like worried about the art community as a whole because there's like a lot of artists that are struggling to like make art for people for money, but then there's people selling the coding of images and making like hundreds of thousands of dollars off of it. And it's very mind-blowing that like that can happen, and it's also very upsetting that like I've seen artists be like, I don't want to do NFTs, I absolutely, and like ethically like against it and morally against it, but I need money. And I've like seen people like just in desperate need of money as artists because like they weren't making it otherwise, and like having people like steal their art to make their own NFTs and make money off of it. It's incredibly wild how this industry is, like how there's so much against actual artists than there is with like all this mess going on with that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think like the moral of that story is if you want unique art, commission an artist.
Because I
Literally.
guarantee you, most likely it'll be a lot less and it'll look a lot better than a monkey with like glasses, and then another one has like glasses but they're slightly moved up a pixel or some shit. Like,
Or they're a different color.
right.
Yeah, it's just ugh.
That's where I kind of like wanted to understand NFTs a little bit more because an artist that I follow, she had posted something and she was like, "Oh, you can buy this now." And it was actually a nice piece of art. And I was like, "Oh, I wonder if it's a print or something. Like, I'm gonna check it out." And I looked at it and it was an NFT, and I was like, "Oh no, honey."
No.
like like oh no, but I mean, she's a really talented artist, and I think the thing is she's not pumping them out, that's the other thing either. She's not making them one pixel different or this and that. Like, it was a nice piece of art, but I still was like, I'm gonna close that browser tab, honey. Like, thank you, but no thank you. Like, love you, still gonna follow you, probably still gonna buy things from your shop, but I'm not gonna buy an NFT, honey.
I think it's
Right.
like the unfortunate thing where like I feel like a lot of people like that are very under the notion that ignorance is bliss, because they're like, if I don't know what an NFT truly is, I can make money off of it without researching, because like all they know is that it can make money. So like, even like no matter how talented an artist is, like they need to educate themselves and be like, oh, I'm not selling the art, I'm selling something outside of the art. But like that's the unfortunate thing, is that just like everybody's I hope that a lot of people are unaware, but I know a lot of people just want it for the money. But like I genuinely feel like there are some artists that just like don't quite grasp exactly what it is, and I just like, please do your research.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's the
I did
moral
want
of the story for sure. Like, do your own research. We have our own opinions. You can listen to them, of course, but definitely do your own research and have your own conclusions and your own thoughts about this.
Absolutely, absolutely. I did want to bring up like kind of an addendum that is also focused on gaming, because like you see lately, I've seen a lot of gamers like getting outraged about companies doing NFTs, which they should. But I want to like ask, where is the energy for other things? Because like two things can be bad at the same time. I will give you that. They're both bad for different reasons. But I'm just saying, like, when Dead by Daylight started doing NFTs, like everybody was like, oh, everybody was like up in arms about it. But when the blackface Bubba cosmetic was a thing, I only saw black gamers tweeting about it. So
Right.
where was the energy for that?
But
For like
suddenly
the
everyone
years?
was tweeting about it when Dead by Daylight removed it, and everyone was like, finally, yay. And I'm like, yeah, but you never said anything about it and you kept playing the game, but that's fine, I guess.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But meanwhile, like a bunch of white streamers were streaming Dead by Daylight, just like oh,
It's part of the
I
lore.
suddenly
It's
I
part of
don't
the
hear anything.
lore. Did you see? Like,
And
people were
then
literally defending it even after
right,
the
Yeah.
developers
out.
removed it. They were like, it's lore. Like, they should have kept it. It's lore. I'm like,
It's like, why are you dying on that hill? And also,
Mhm.
somebody like made a really funny tweet that I saw, because they were like, I only saw the first few Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, and you know what I didn't see? A black person, a person of color. You would not catch us dead in that damn forest, bitch. We would not be out there. And I'm just like, exactly. So like, even in the actual lore of the universe, like nobody is there. It's just the white people cutting up. So I just think it's just so weird that they're like, it's the lore, it's the lore. And I'm like, show us proof that it is the lore. I'm curious.
I don't know.
We'll just want any excuse to feel better. But like, and yet when the second they started announcing NFTs, I saw like a lot of people being like, "Oh, I can't stream DVD anymore." Like,
Yeah.
I'm like all up in it, and it's like y'all were fine streaming it while there was a blackface cosmetic in the game.
Right. That was
Since
literally
creation.
that energy
I mean,
of
because-
like that quote that is like, oh, I what is the quote is like, I can take
Oh,
the
yeah.
racism, but I draw my line
I can
at
excuse
blank.
racism, but I draw the
You
line
can
at.
excuse racism?
It literally was. I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at NFTs.
Right.
I was like, now y'all are dropping Dead by Daylight.
Oh,
Isn't
boy.
there another argument too happening right now about people referring to what is her name? They call her Blendette.
Oh, Claudette, yeah.
Claudette,
Yeah.
Claudette,
Yeah.
Claudette.
That's a whole thing, and the number of arguments. Like, as a person who does still, like, I don't stream the game. I still play it from time to time, though. I've mainly because my friends were like, "Let's play it." I was like, "Cool," but it's just kind of like, it's like, why do you have to use that name? It's like, it's racist. Like, why you're calling her that.
Someone's gonna have to fill me in on the lore because I have no idea what y'all talking about.
Oh,
on this shit right
basically-
here.
Yeah, I don't know the
Black
thing
character in the
about
game.
Claudette.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
I know. I basically like because like I played it before they updated the maps because the maps are bright as hell now, so you can see everything like 50 miles away. But in the original, like the maps were dark, and so like the only black person that was in the game, everybody was being racist. Like, oh, you can't see her if she's like in the bush, in the trees, in the shrubbery. Like you can't see her. The killers like will always overlook her. She like blends in. Like so then people started calling her Blendette. And it's just so it's basically
Rotted.
just like, oh, she's so dark, like nobody can see her.
Yep.
But she didn't
Yeah.
actually blend in like that though.
Her clothing did, but
Yeah,
I'm
her
not gonna say her
clothing
skin
did.
did.
Oh,
But also the
But, like,
clothing you
every-
could change it, so it's like
Yeah, like you can
just like
change
with
the
any other
clothing.
character.
Mhm.
But like also like one, it was like the game is basically a digital hide and seek. So of course the person's trying to blend in so that they can hide
Right.
from the person that's
The
trying to
point.
kill them in the game. So why are you upset that they're doing the point of the game and then
Mhm.
calling them a name because you don't like?
Right.
That's just DVD players
Yeah.
getting mad at each other because they're just doing the game.
Right.
Like that's literally.
It's true.
That's literally,
It's true.
literally the entire DVD community. Streamers like, I'm mad that you can do this thing in the game.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
the game. I'm supposed
I
to.
can't believe you would use a feature that is available in the game for you to use. How fucking dare you?
How dare you?
You're
Jackson?
abusing a skill that is given to you for free,
That
I
you-
might add.
that you earned and you equipped on
that
your own.
you earned. What? I cannot believe it.
Oh jeez.
I just
Honoring.
Ridiculous.
I just know when I played the game, I could blend in as any character because people, you know what they are? Terrible at the game. Like they are
They're blind.
terrible. They cannot catch details sometimes. I was in a bright ass purple cardigan with a white striped shirt hiding in a corner, and this bitch just passes me like 3 times and does not see me. Like it's like y'all just can't see what you want to see. That's
It's
the
the
thing.
blind
It's not just the
rage.
character. Yeah.
It's the blind rage.
They just
you
wanna,
start
like,
getting
in
mad
it.
and tunnel vision and all of that stuff starts.
Right.
Honoring.
Well.
I just wanted to
No,
get that
I-
last little bit in there. Just like.
No, yeah, keep your energy
Same energy.
consistent. Like NFTs are bad, but there's also many other things in the gaming industry that are just as bad, if not worse, that also need to be brought up. And yeah, so moving forward, obviously, if the topic, or if we're shady about certain companies, or if certain companies get into NFTs and we're kind of not the we're not bouncing up and down in joy, then you can refer to this episode and understand why that is the case. So yeah, let's turn around and talk about good things that we've been, or unless you've been playing bad things, but that's another story. Let's talk about what we've been playing.
We've been playing bad things.
Play good games. Love yourself.
Yeah, play good games. I
can't
say
think
as I
of-
played like the worst game of last year, but that's fine.
As you played a sports game on stream.
Oof.
What did you play? What was
eFootball.
it?
eFootball.
eFootball.
So
Yeah.
Bad.
I did a thing where I went to Metacritic and I saw the highest rated game of last year and the worst rated game, and I downloaded both to like try them both on stream at the same time and see like, is it as bad as they said or is it as good as they said? And so yeah, I played eFootball. It was
What
really
is-
bad. It was
What
really
is
bad.
it?
It's
It sounds like-
it's a European soccer game.
Yeah, it's a soccer game
Oh.
basically,
Oh, I
made by
thought it was like
Konami.
football, American
No,
football.
it's E
Yeah.
for Europe.
Oh my god, this country sucks. Country sucks.
I don't think it's supposed to be E for Europe.
Isn't it E for Europe?
I think it's E as in like esports, like
Oh, no.
Sports.
It
Electronic.
could be both.
Come
It's
on,
double
Shirley.
because you
Your
see
own meaning.
the entire
It has two
the entirety
meanings.
of the world refers to soccer as football. You see,
You said
True.
that with your chest, Dex. E for Europe.
E for Europe.
they, they have teams from South
This game is
America,
rated E for
from
Europe.
Europe.
from all these places, and Dex is like, it's Europe. It's an European thing. Like, don't worry about it.
Well, I was saying the game is European. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
It's not.
So-
It's not. It's a Konami
This
developed
game, this
soccer
game is rated
game
EE
that's
for
like
everyone in Europe.
Mhm.
it's basically Pro Evolution Soccer but free to play. It's a whole thing. Don't play it. It's bad. It's really bad. But yeah, anyway, speaking of what we're playing, what y'all have been playing, please go on ahead.
I can start. We can just kind
Yeah.
of go back up.
Yeah, we don't need to do an
We'll do a
order.
little, we'll do a little sneaky.
Yeah. So, okay. So obviously I've been playing Animal Crossing. I decided I hated my Offstream Island again, and I'm like, I've flattened like half of it, and I'm redoing it again for like the fourth time in like 2 months.
It's almost as if it's a cycle that
It kind of is.
keeps on happening.
I really want to get it like looking perfect by the summer and like get a good dream address and just like put it on there and just be done messing with it for a while.
Love you, Spin, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll believe it when I see
I
it.
know.
Never, ever,
I just always like, oh, I hate this one area, and then I just demolish half the island.
Mhm.
So I've been doing that. I also did. I don't think I was on the podcast like last week, so I don't think I talked about it. I also tried out the first Animal Crossing game for GameCube. I had like a challenge, and my community unlocked a stream where I tried the first Animal Crossing game. And ever since that stream, I've been playing it nonstop.
Oh,
Iconic.
Almost as much, if not more, than New Horizons, like every day. And it's been really interesting because like I didn't grow up with it. I had never played it before, and I was expecting to like it, of course, but I was expecting to be like, oh, I miss like this feature that's in later Animal Crossing games. Like, oh, I wish I could do that, and I literally haven't at all. Like, I never like once found myself frustrated that I couldn't do like something that you can do in later games, except maybe inventory space. Like the inventory space is really small. In the first Animal Crossing game.
The inventory space was terrible in all of them.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I remember like when I first like started New Horizons and we had like so much space, I was just like, whoa. And then you just upgrade it even more, and it's like, and everything stacks.
So good.
Stackable items. Ah!
Like literally, though.
We were so happy.
You were all so happy that day.
We were
Yeah,
so
I've been
happy.
playing, like
Truly.
pretty much nonstop. I started a character as Lynn, so I've been playing on my Lynn character. Bob scammed me out of like 2,500 bells my first day on the island. Like half my villagers hate my guts. But also, since that stream, I've gotten Rosie in my town, and Rosie's my bestie. We're besties for life. She's like the only villager that like the first time I talked to her, she was nice to me. Like literally the only.
Everyone is kind of
Everyone's
like
an asshole.
when you first moved to town, they're like, "Who are you?"
We
Oh,
had just moved here and
okay.
you were a
Don't talk to
child and we
me.
decided to hate you.
Yeah, don't
I love
talk to
that.
me. Tortenmiter told you to do what? Get off my plot of land.
Get out of my lawn.
Get out of my square.
Your house is in that square over there. Why don't you go back to it?
Stay there.
Yeah, I've got like a decent, like I did the first home expansion. I've got like a decent little room going. I'm just like, yeah. I'm just like living my best life. And it's kind of freeing that like I don't have as much control over the town. I can just like run around, pick my fruit, get my shells, like just do my thing. It's been nice. And then I've also been what else have I been playing? I tried to finish the case that I've been working on in Phoenix, right, the other night. And I kept having so many technical issues. I had to end early.
Oh no.
And it was a tragedy. But we're almost done with that damn samurai case that I've been on for like 2 months. I promise it's coming.
in the first one?
Yeah.
That one's
Oh,
just
no.
long in general.
That one's really long, and that one is extremely annoying. I will have to agree with you there. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, but I've just got the last day of trial left. I thought I was on the last day. Turns out I was on the second day, and there's another day. Another trial.
Another trial. Another
club.
Oh,
Another
God.
judge. Another judge. Another judge.
Evidence. Another judge. Objection.
Objection.
Getting beat across the head on your own.
Take that.
Oh.
It's literally been that. Yeah, other than that, things are growing great on my on-stream island. I'm just like building things, making new patterns. I have this giant tree stump pattern that I made that I'm basically gonna have to like import into the game square by square, and there's like 60 squares.
Well,
So that's gonna be my project before stream next week. But that's about it for what I've been playing. Ruin, what have you been up to?
Unfortunately, I have been a little too obsessed with Fortnite. It has been extremely sweaty. It has been extremely
Oh, no.
annoying. And I alt F4 quite often after a couple of games. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. I will alt F4 if I have like if someone does the donkey laugh, alt F4. I'm done. I am not playing
donkey
your
laugh?
toxic. Yeah, it's this really annoying emote that they'll do that some people have where it's like "Wah, ah," and it's just like alt F4, girl. I'm done playing. I'm not
Goodbye.
playing this game, and yeah, I'm not doing this anymore.
I
So
don't blame you. That sounds really annoying.
it is toxic, and so I picked up Pokemon Diamond again, and this is actually the first time that I've completed both games within like a month or two of each other, because as a consumer, I always buy both games. The one game is never going to get played. And so I actually beat Diamond the other day at my kitchen table, and I was really like Cynthia the first time around, and Pearl, she was hard, and Diamond, she went down. She went downtown Julie Brown. It was done. It was over. And I had no problems with her. I flipped my hair in my cute little spring dress, and I said, "See ya, bitch," and I moved on. I watched the end credits, saved the game, and I put it away. My friend was like, are you gonna get the other legendaries? I was like, no. I beat the game. So Fortnite, that's really it. I haven't really been playing much. I'm like trying to think. I'm like looking around, and no, I haven't been playing much. So now I'm at the point, it's what do I play next? I'm looking forward to Legends of Arceus coming out at the end of the month. And that's it. That's it, friends. I've tried a lot of TikTok games, like a lot of those TikTok games that come up when you're scrolling and they're ads. I'm like, you know what? Let me try this really quickly. And I always, when they ask, like, oh, do you want them to track you? I'm like, girl, no. And I try it for about 5 minutes. And after you do like one thing, you get an ad. And then once you win a level, you get an ad. Or if you die, you get an ad.
Oh boy.
And when you take a couple steps, you get an ad. When you try to exit the game, you get an ad.
Another
so
ad. Another ad.
Yeah, another ad. Another ad. Another
So
ad.
many
Oh, you click
ads.
this, you want to buy this? Oh, another ad. We're selling NFTs. Another ad. Like, girl.
All right, time to close the app.
Yeah, the app, I swipe up, I hold it, I press the X, it is deleted from my phone, never to be seen again. So yeah, I've just been trying it just because I was just like, let's try it, let's see how it is. So yeah, that's really it. That's all I've been up to. Ruby, tell me what you've been up to.
Well, I have been doing quite a bit since last episode. We already talked about eFootball, but I also tried Disco Elysium, which I didn't really love. Didn't have the best first impression of it. But I am willing to give it another try because I only played it for like maybe an hour or two. So I'm willing to give it another try. I made my girlie quit the job, and I thought he was just going to say that just to say it. And then he actually quit, and I got a bad ending. So love that for me.
Wow.
But
maybe people are telling the truth.
maybe people say what they mean sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, I'm willing to give it another try. But she's in my backlog right now for like off stream stuff. Because off stream I'm currently playing Pokemon Shield actually. Because I never beat it on stream, and then I just kind of put it on hold. And then I said, you know what? I don't need to play this on stream. Let me do other things on stream. I'll play this on my own. Guess what? I can also play games on my own. So I've been playing that often on my toilet breaks. For IRL, not stream breaks, but
Not it being your toilet game.
oh yeah.
I mean,
you
it's
know-
on the Nintendo Switch. That's what it's for.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, the pooping. Oh, the Switch. Let's go.
Gaming on the go while you go.
Gaming while you're going. And going on anyway, yeah, so I did that. As far as on stream, I did start Final Fantasy 1. I'm doing a Final Fantasy series where every time I get a game over, I switch to the next game on the franchise. So I started in Final Fantasy 1. Basically died on my first cave because on that game poison works like Pokemon. Like you get poisoned in battle and you stay poisoned out of battle. So I was in a cave with no way to get out of it, poisoned, running out of items to like heal, to take the poison away, or to revive my characters, and everyone just died to like a random encounter. Because that's also another thing. I made it so that I am not allowed to grind, but also not allowed to escape from random encounters that I do encounter naturally. So that's a thing. Final Fantasy 2, however, I've been having a lot of fun with. Like I thought I wasn't gonna like it because the battle system and the leveling up in that game is kind of weird. Like you have to, like, in order for you to gain like HP, you have to get hit a lot. In order for you to gain more strength, you have to use physical attacks a lot, and so on and so forth. So you basically just have, the more you do something, that's how your character levels that stat up specifically, rather than like you gaining experience and your stats just automatically filling up. So, but I'm really enjoying it. The game seems to be more generous in that way. Like anyone can do anything basically, so I can have cure on all my characters and hopefully everything will be fine. Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it so far. It also helps that the game has more of a structure as far as like story. Like I feel like the first Final Fantasy is kind of like, go do this thing, and then it's just kind of like up in the air, while this one, like, you know, your characters each have a story of their own, and there's guest characters, and it's cute. I'm really enjoying it so far. Hopefully I won't die anytime soon, but we'll see. But yeah, other than that, I'm still going strong on Paper Mario. I'm adoring that game. The presentation is just precious. It's just cute in every single way. It's an RPG as well, so I automatically really enjoy it. Am I doing anything else? Oh yeah, I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 this week because I decided to tackle the best and worst rated games from the PlayStation era. So that was the best one, and it was actually really fun. I created my own character, Floptina. And yeah,
Near the Pro Skater.
she's a legend. She's the moment, and I broke her neck a few times because I'm bad at that game.
I
Well, you can't really break
Just
their
killing
neck.
her
You just see them like
casually.
falling and blood going everywhere. So
blood.
she's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
Miss Floptina is
Pick it back up.
she's
Fine.
she's a sturdy
Not
girl.
she's fine. Don't worry about it.
She's a sturdy girl. It's fine. Don't worry about it. The worst game was Dragon Ball Ultimate Battle 22, something like that.
Yes.
That game is so bad. It's so bad. It's like a Flash game, but on the PlayStation 1. It's really bad. That's all I have to say. I can't. There's no good thing about it. It's just a bad game.
That's why I told you to turn it off. It's okay.
I was like, is there more to this? And Kogo was like, no, just literally
No.
turn it off.
It's bad.
It's just a bad
The
game,
game is-
Ruby. It's just
really
a bad game.
Be done. Be done. Why torture yourself?
Truly. Yeah, that's basically it. This is not a game, but it's gaming adjacent. I did get my encyclopedia in the mail, my Sonic 30-year encyclopedia. It's so good. I literally had the biggest smile on my face. I was like flipping through the pages. And it's just like so nice. It's just like random facts about like each game and like the character art for each thing, and like they show like screenshots from every level. They do like, oh, in this region the game was called this thing, and when it came to that region it was called that thing. It was just like cute little random facts for like if you're a fan of Sonic like I am. You just get like stuff from 1991 up till whatever game was the latest one that was released when the Buke came out, because it was supposed to come out last year, but Corona. But yeah, I'm really adoring that. I don't read often, but I'm zip zooming through that one. I'm like I gotta go. I'm doing it. I gotta go fast.
Ooh,
I gotta encycle speedy ready this thing, okay?
Listen, that
Speedy
title
ready.
alone was like, I'm pre-ordering it. Encyclopedia.
That's actually really cute.
I'm pre-ordering it the second. Yeah, I got the deluxe edition too, so like it has like a juicy cover, and then like it comes with a little like art thingy, one for Sonic and one for Eggman. It's really, really cute. I really like it. Yeah. And yeah, that's basically it for me. What about you, Koga? What have you been up to?
So I've been continuing Yakuza Like a Dragon. I had a moment to where I stopped, and me continuing went in a weird way that I don't think anyone really expects, but hear me out. So to me, the story isn't bad. It's good. It's just that there is quite a bit of padding. And it's like at the beginning that something happens, and I'm like, okay, we need to continue this. But then there's like all this stuff that's happening in the middle, and I'm like, but I want to go there. I want to go there. And put it this way, I was in chapter 4. The part that I want to get to isn't until like 8 or 9. Like that's just how interested I was into figuring like what's happening here. Like it's not saying the other stuff isn't important in some way. It just felt like, to me, like a real big side mission, but it does help, flesh out the characters and whatnot. But because I was so invested, I kind of went on YouTube and just watched the rest of it. I'm like, oh, that's good. It gets good. And then I'm like, okay, so now I'm back to where I was at playing it, and now I'm able to have a good time. It's odd. It's just that when I was playing it first, the gameplay is fun. I'm still fond of the older way of playing it. Sorry. But it's still fun, and a lot of just callbacks to like RPGs and things like that. Although I never played Dragon Quest, so I'm pretty sure I'm missing a good portion of them. But then it's like side stuff like you running a business, Dragon Cart, and all that stuff is fun and for sure. So it's like I'm able to, I guess, enjoy that. But it's like there was like that many chapters. it's like, man. But the stuff that's happening is good. It's just what can I say? I was trying to, okay, I understand this is happening. This is great. But can we get to here so I can figure out like what's this about?
Right.
So I'm just continuing up until I just finish the game. But I'm like 25 hours into the game now, and I'm at maybe chapter 7 because I'm trying to do all like the side stuff too. So doing side stuff takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So as you could probably guess, been playing this thing over here. This is a Marvel vs. Capcom arcade 1-up cabinet. It has Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, and for some goddamn reason, what is this game?
Oh god.
Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems. That's actually a Super Nintendo game.
Interesting.
It is an interesting choice. So when they released this one, there was a X-Men vs. Street Fighter one they had on side of that came out with X-Men Children of the Atom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, and some other Super Nintendo game. I'm like, I wish y'all would have just made one cabinet, took that Super Nintendo game off, and put X-Men Children of the Atoms on there. But whatever. So I've been kind of playing that, but mostly I've been playing. You can't see it. It's the cabinet that's over here. No, I'm not moving the camera. I'm sorry. It's the Street Fighter 2 Big Blue cabinet. While it's titled that, most of the games actually are not Street Fighter. It's Capcom's other games such as like Darkstalkers, Puzzle Fighter, Knights of the Round, Saturday Night Slam Masters, Knights of the Round. Did I say Knights of the Round already? I'm pretty sure I did. But if I didn't, I just did. So there you go.
I think so, yeah.
The thing is that I do like about these is that each game on them, except for that Super Nintendo game, all has online, which is something that Arcade 1-Up has started to put in their cabinets now. So it's not just you waiting for like someone to come over because still a middle of pandemonium, so that's still happening. Mm-hmm. But it also has rollback netcode. Thank you, because I swear I'm tired of arguing about that with people on the internet. So you get a bunch of games, all have rollback netcode, and it runs actually pretty good. Now, of course, there's some games that's not going to have as many people. Like, you're probably not going to find someone playing, like, Saturday Night Slam Masters. But, like, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, it's loaded with a bunch of freaking Guile and Bison players. They're pretty OP. It's... Games back then was kind of busted. Let's just put it that way. Outside of that, I played a little bit of Mortal Kombat 2, but it was more so to demonstrate to a friend on how the AI cheats in older fighting games in the arcade. Because, you lose in an arcade game, you thinking, someone will say, oh, you're just not good enough. No, the AI in these games actually cheat. As in, let me give you a perfect example in this game over here. Guile has a sonic boom where he has to hold back for 2 seconds, press forward, and punch. Guess what the AI does? It just hit whatever, and then boom, it comes out. So this man can just walk up sonic boom, walk up flash kick. It's pretty busted. So in Mortal Kombat 2, it had issues like some were able to do that. They recovered from their moves faster. When you're in the corner, there's an area where for some reason you can't throw your opponent yet, but these fools can, and if they catch you, they're throwing you twice.
Well,
and if you're ducking, they're programmed to just throw you. So if you ever played against Melina and you walk up and you try to uppercut her and she just grabs you and back, it's like, how did we deal with this in the 90s?
We just gave them our money. We're like, another coin.
We did.
It's they were like, you have to lose, so you have to pay to play again.
It's actually kind of. I'm like, I don't know. People say play to win wasn't a thing back then. I'm like, yeah, it was. It's just we gave them a bunch of quarters.
It's
truly. I think that's like, without wanting to get too much off topic, but like that was totally a thing that like now our generation as adults were like, we were being scammed by the arcade machines and we didn't know it, and that's why they were so difficult.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of figured in some way, but there wasn't a way to like prove it. And plus, the internet wasn't a thing. So now is like people can look into it, and you see like, yeah, the AI just always does this specific thing, which is why if you see someone playing it, they may just be outdoing the AI, which is fine. But after a certain point, it's kind of like, playing against the AI sometimes just isn't fun because it's just being really cheap and doing the same thing. Because regardless of how ridiculously cheap they are, there's something somewhere that you find, and it's just, oh, just do that. For example, again in Mortal Kombat 2, if you jump backwards, for some reason they'll jump forward after you, a little bit after you do. So jump forward, kick them, and if you have a character that has like a throw or a fireball, whatever, afterwards, just keep doing that over and over and over and over and over. Here's the thing. Who the hell wants to do that?
Right.
I keep thinking the camera's over there, and it's not. I see you all there, but it's not. So if you're wondering why am I looking over here, that's why. But
You're
yeah,
adjusting.
it's trying.
I don't
But
think I've
yeah,
ever looked at the camera not once in my life. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I look
But that's
down.
mostly what I was doing with that, because I had to demonstrate to someone. I'm like, yeah, the AI in these older games, fighting games, actually cheat. Like they're just able to do things that you aren't able to do, and they read your inputs. Like you'll press something, it has a counter for it. Now, depending on what game it is and what difficulty, determine how much that happens. But yeah, that's the thing. And I've definitely learned that playing on this one. This one not as bad. I think late 90s they kind of chilled out a little bit, but early mid 90s, no, we getting all your coins, all of them.
Well,
And I think that's the best.
They gotta make money.
My God, companies.
those cabinets
What
made a
about you?
lot of money back then too.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
damn.
they did a lot.
And some of the wobbly things, they were wobbly. Some-
What does that supposed to
Ma'am.
mean?
What does that mean?
the joystick
joystick
thing,
were
and
really-
it's supposed to, it's supposed to be, just not like super wobbly, but like good enough. But some of them, they're little.
No.
Well,
Nah,
I don't know.
nah.
If you were having that much fun with it, that probably is to it. Cut it out.
On that
Like you-
note,
Like you can't get a stick and just go like this and expect it to not get loose at some point.
Oh god.
There's a disconnect.
Ruin Crown
Anyway.
making those sticks loose since 19 redacted.
Jim, how about you? What you been playing?
Well, let's see. I have been playing. I've been playing Far Cry 6. Because that is like my uber straight game of choice.
Not bad.
I mean that.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Are you having fun though?
I am. The Far Cry series is a game series that I absolutely love, no matter how much it's been the same exact game since the original. And I play every single one, and I still love it. This time I get to play as a girly on an island fighting off capitalism. So you know what? She's me.
Well,
So I'm loving that. I am also playing through Paper Mario again because I love that game, Origami King. It's amazing. What else am I playing? That might be mostly it because school is back and the panorama is in full force and I got to figure out how to teach kids remotely again because school's out for the first 4 weeks. It's great.
oh boy.
Um,
I mean, those
oh,
are some
Cuphead.
juicy
And I've been playing
games.
Cuphead.
So like,
And I've
you
been
know.
playing Cuphead because I'm a sadist and I love hurting myself apparently.
Well,
Wait, what? What game?
Cuphead.
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 Oh, Cuphead. I was like,
Sorry.
what game?
What you hear?
Cuphead.
What?
She's like, not that, ma'am. Cuphead, because I am very excited for the DLC that should be coming out this year.
DLC.
I didn't know it was getting DLC.
Yeah, it's getting like an expansion
Yeah.
of like new bosses and stuff, which I appreciate because the game came out like so long ago. So like oh, we're gonna add on to it, and it's been a while. It wasn't like we made the game, now here's some extra stuff that now you need to pay for. It's been like a while, and they're actually adding things to it. So I'm loving it. It's great. I love that game. As anyone who ever went to like the few streams that I like did back in the day before like I got too busy, we played it. So That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been playing. How about you, Dex?
I've been playing 14. The end.
What?
Dex
Imagine.
playing 14?
What game is that? What
I
game are
don't.
you
I
playing?
didn't hear you.
You
What was
know,
Little known indie
the
MMO.
critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14.
Final Fantasy Online game? Oh wow! I thought that came out years ago. It's still going.
It's still
Wow.
going.
Well, best ongoing
Oh,
game
that's
of
it?
2021.
Yeah.
Are you doing EX raids, Savage raids?
The game.
Wow. Just
He said, "Girly, I'm doing it
Gatherers,
all."
crafters, disciples of war, magic, all of just the game.
just all of
game.
the
it.
game.
Everything.
Well,
Wow, it's been a great podcast, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. It's been so good to see you all.
Thank you so much. Should we talk about where people can find us each individually? All of our links are obviously going to be in the description of whatever platform you're using, including the hosts that obviously are not here on this one episode. But yeah, definitely support us all. But yeah, Dex, where can people find you and what are you going to be up to?
Well, you can find me at Twitter at DexisAvast, rambling about random shit. I downloaded TikTok. I'm using TikTok, so maybe something will happen. So it's just at Dextralicious. And then Twitch and YouTube are also Dextralicious. Maybe there'll be a video someday if I actually feel like editing. And maybe I'll stream one day if I ever feel like streaming. So there's that. What about you, Jam?
You can find me everywhere at jam_5899. Twitch, Twitter. We're on TikTok. We don't post them, but we like our friends' TikToks. And then Instagram, where you can see me post selfies because that's basically all I do now when I'm not in lab. But we're
They're
actually
cute selfies.
finally we are working on a return to streaming that is going to happen in March.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're coming back. We got a little bit of time, but we're coming back. So we're gonna play Cuphead, of course, because I love that game.
Gotta get
Then
ready
we'll
for
find
the
other games to
DLC.
Exactly. And we're gonna chat. There'll probably be some streams where I do my hair. I'll probably be making scientific presentations on there. We'll be doing it all. Having a conversation, being fun, being cute. You know. The usual.
Yeah.
Follow the channel. Do it now.
Follow now. What about you, Kogo?
You can find me here on Twitch and also Twitter at Koga_Jangles. I'm there on Twitch, on Twitter, just whatever. And Twitch, I'll come back at some point. God damn it.
You want Twitter blocking NFTs.
Well, as he should.
As
As we all probably should.
Yeah.
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 Let me go block that word right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I just never see it on my timeline, so I'm like, I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, I've seen it like so many times in like the past 48 hours. I'm like, all right, I get it. Y'all get it.
Yeah. We're muting NFTs, we're muting Wordle, we're muting Twitch.
Oh my God.
Streamer.
Cancel Wordle, girl. Cancel Wordle.
I
I'm
don't
tired.
understand Wordle.
What?
And
I
this is
see.
too afraid to ask.
50 billion. It's just
No, I know what it is.
know,
I
we'll
just
talk
don't
about it next
understand
week.
Why it is.
not talk about it next week. Are we gonna have a whole segment about Wordle, bitch?
We could.
No.
No, we don't have
We
to.
probably could. We probably could.
No, we don't have to.
I don't know what this is.
Okay.
It's a
Is it like a bad war turtle?
No,
or-
no,
No,
it's a
you
daily
just-
word game. It's like a puzzle. You go to this website, there's like 5 letters, and then you try to guess which word it is, and then based on the words that you input, it will give you like yellow, gray, or green dots. And if it gives you gray, it means that the word of the day doesn't have any of that letter. If it has a yellow, it means that the word contains that letter, but it's not in the right place. And if it's a green, it means that it's in the correct place. So then when you're done with it, whether you guessed it or not, they usually give you a prompt to share it on social media, which results in people spamming your timeline with just like Wordle number 2 or whatever out of whatever, and it's just a bunch of squares of different colors. And at first when I saw it, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I almost didn't want to get into Wordle just out of the spite of seeing my timeline getting flooded. But the game is actually really fun.
My
Okay,
thing with
it's like Sudoku a little bit. Like
Yeah.
There's a
It-
billion
it-
word games. Like, I don't understand why specifically this one has like blown up so much.
Because
I think
it's
because it has the easy share aspect.
it's
well, I
that
think.
it's also like 5-letter words. It's like pretty like easy to understand to get into. It's also just 1 word per day, so like you can do it like on your lunch break, or you can do it on your commute, or you could do it, like when I do it, like my screen, I have nighttime mode on my screen, so it turns like yellowish, so that my eyes start to like, oh yeah, it's nighttime, I should go to sleep soon. And then the second that happens, I know it's midnight and there's a new word and I do it. So I think it's the factor of like there being a thing every day for you to look forward to, kind of thing. It's easy
That's
for
what I
it to
play
be.
Animal Crossing for.
Well,
I should
and
play Animal
another
Crossing.
good thing, there's no ads.
yeah, that
There's
also
no
that
ads.
it's not an
Yeah.
app that you can install. It's not like it's whatever. It's just like literally a thing that you open. It's free. The creator wants it to remain free, and it's relatively fun. And yeah, and there's the shareable aspect of it. Which, let me just take this opportunity. I said this on my own channel. Let me say it here again. Just take a screenshot of the thing, like not the words, but like it automatically forms a tweet for you. Instead of just tweeting that out, take a screenshot of it and post that instead, so that you can alt text it, so that people with screen readers don't get spammed with red square, green square, gray square.
green square, gray square, gray square, gray square,
Right.
green square.
So that's just a little tidbit that I feel like it's important, because some people made such a big deal about the red flag meme and all of those memes that included a lot of emojis, but then they are just like, oh, but Wordle, let me
they do
just
that.
post it, it's fine. Like, we don't need to accessibility, who is she? But yeah,
I don't know when it started, but the first person I saw doing it was Smallzy, so I blame Smallzy.
Yeah. Yeah, Smallzy, he was mentioning it in a Discord that I was in with him, and he's like, yeah, oh, Wordle. I'm like, what is Wordle, Diva? Like, I don't know what this is. He's like, oh, it's a game. Here, go here. And I was like, oh, okay.
We
And
invite Smallzy on the podcast to do a Wordle intervention.
Please.
oh no, I love
Wordle.
Wordle.
Smallzy, explain.
I'm on Smallzy's side.
Explain yourself.
It's fun. It's
Do
fun.
you
It's
have a
like a nice
comment?
little brain teaser for the day.
Yeah. Well, you can find me not tweeting about Wordle on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube at Project Ruby. I'm doing a lot of things. I'm doing my Final Fantasy challenge. I'm doing weekly best and worst of whatever games, franchises, years, what have you. And I'm also doing playthroughs of games from each year of my life. So yeah, stay tuned if you want to check out any of that. I also have a new video coming out soon where I rated every game that I played in 2021. It's roughly 40 minutes for 41 games that I got through, so be proud of me. And yeah, that's out right now for Ko-Fi supporters, and it's gonna be out tomorrow off of the time that we're doing this. If you're listening to this on Spotify and all those things, it's probably already out. So check that out. And yeah, what about you, Riwin?
I will be making I will be coming back to streaming this month for sure.
Yes.
Probably in about not next week, the following week. So like literally a week and a half away. But you can find me anywhere, Ruin Crown, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on Twitch. Yeah, everything Ruin Crown, and follow me. And yeah, that's it. Nothing else
Yes.
going on.
Look forward to the comeback of the diva.
Yes, I'm ready.
Thank
I've missed
you.
The
you.
circus
Clownery is
diva.
gonna happen. The clownery is gonna happen.
Yay.
Thank
Speaking of
you.
clownery, spin.
I got my clown dress on tonight. Over at twitch.tv/spinblend. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all is Spinblend. I stream twice a week on Thursdays and Fridays usually. You can see me be an anime drag queen in Blend Blend. I play a lot of Animal Crossing. We're doing an Animal Crossing island that's Enchanted Forest themed. And then right now I'm also playing Phoenix Wright because we love solving mysteries. And I also have a soap shop called Spin Soap Cafe. You can find it at spinsoapcafe.com.
Yes. And do not eat the soap.
Don't eat them. Just only sniff.
Only.
They smell so good though.
I promise you they will not taste as good as they smell.
Also, you try.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Who?
It's fair.
I accidentally have once actually. I can confess. I can confess that there was a time where I had longer nails and I got a bit of what I thought was chocolate under my nail, and I was like, "Oh, let me just get that," and it was like, it was soap.
That could have been a lot of things that you
No.
You
That could have been-
tempted fate,
Yeah.
Project Ruby.
No,
That could have been dirt.
no. What? How?
I wasn't even
I don't
thinking
go
dirt,
outside.
We
but
know what you were thinking about. Anyways, this podcast is over.
Anyway, it was Spin's cinnamon soap bar, which is great, but
And
does not
dirt
taste great.
or other things.
also I'm pretty sure Ruby was the one who yelled at all of us making that joke that we were going to eat the soap. And what happened? Karma smiled her
I love that
shiny
Ruby
face on your nails that day.
Was the
You
first one
ate
to eat the
soap.
soap.
Did it taste like cinnamon?
Wash your mouth. Redacted.
It did not. And the sad thing is, like, the second it touched my mouth, I knew it was soap. I knew it was over, and I knew if I ever shared it, I would get what I just got from Ruin.
Well, at
And
least the part of your
deservedly.
mouth was clean.
Deservedly so. But yeah, at least I was clean. Unlike some people who think it could have been poop under my nail, it was actually, in fact, cleanliness. You dirty whores. Anyway, we'll see you next week for another episode of the Just Gaming Tingz Podcast. And until then, don't eat soap and don't get poop under your nails. Bye.
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 Bye.